Good evening, and thank you for coming to visit us at the University of Cumbria in the UK, but at the moment virtually in Canada as well. I'm not sure where exactly you're from, but I can tell you that at the moment it's coming up for 1:20 a.m. in the morning. We've had a really interesting evening speaking to students mostly from Canada and the US, but from all around the world. And thank you for staying with us and joining us for this presentation. You may think that it's a bit of a strange statement to make, that in the middle of a pandemic, I'm saying there's never been a better time to study in the UK. But if you bear with me, I'm just going to take you through a little bit of a journey and explain my reasoning and my rationale. So, first reason I'm saying this is because, yes, we're in the middle of a pandemic, but I think whilst there's lots of negatives that are associated, and I'm not trying to belittle the impact, the devastation that it has on lives, communities, and the number of dead, but I do think there are some positives that have come out of the pandemic. And I think one of these is a different approach to learning and teaching. I think another thing is it's given the world and the environment time to stop and reset the clock. And I think what has happened as a result of that is that I think a spotlight has been thrown on the sustainability and sustainable development agenda again, because sustainable development is not just about protecting species and conservation and ecology. It's about preserving the economic integrity of the world and creating jobs that ensure that we have sustainable futures for ourselves, for our families, for generations to come. We at the moment are the guardians of the world. We need to make it a better place, that there is something there for our children and our children's children to inherit. And I think this has been a time, certainly in the UK, and I imagine in the rest of the world, it's been a time for reflection and having and stopping and taking stock of the things that are important and the things that are important not just to us, but are important for the rest of the world. And from a pedagogical perspective, from a point of view of someone who works in education, has worked in international higher education for a long time, I think part of that is about impact. So it is about the impact of what we do as an education provider, the impact in terms of individuals and their learning and their teaching, and then the impact in terms of their contribution to their local community, to their region, nationally and internationally. And one of the things that has arisen in the past few years is an ability or a desire to want to measure the ability of individual institutions to have that sort of impact. And so the Times Higher Education Global University Impact Rankings were launched in 2019, and these are rankings that take as the baseline the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, the 17 United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, and then they have created a framework in which universities are measured in terms of the impact of their research, their policies, their graduate outcomes, and the impact in their communities, and their partnerships, local, national, regional, and again global. And that is in different measures. So we as a university submitted for these rankings for the first time in 2020. We submitted against 4 of the rankings. These are the 4 here, and these are our scores. So not bad, not a bad showing at all for for a relatively new university. Whilst we've been around for over 100 years, we can trace our heritage back to 1820. We've only been a university since 2007, so just over 13 years. So at the moment, in terms of the Sustainable Development Goal 4, which is about the quality of education and the impact of the education on local communities and nationally and internationally, we were ranked number 8 in the world in 2020, number 1 in the UK. Another one to my right here is Sustainable Development Goal number 15, which is about life on land. And I'm not sure if any of you joined us in the previous webinar, but we touched on some of the unique programs that we offer at the University of Cumbria and that we're able to offer because of our location in the northwest of England. The third one, which is SDG 3, is good health and well-being. Obviously, extremely important in the current environment, the current situation. And again, in terms of our impact and research, we have been ranked in the top 200. I think it's about 183 for that. And finally, but not least, gender equality. And gender equality is all about access to education and parity of access, but also looking at issues such as transgender issues, gender equality, diversity, and the number of female as opposed to male senior lecturers and senior professional staff that we have in the UK. And again, we rank very highly in that one. I think it was round about 87, so top 90 in the world. The next thing, why it's a good time to study in the UK now more than there, is about employability. And certainly because of the nature of the programs that we offer, what we've found is that in areas such as teaching and in healthcare, but even in areas like the arts, we do a range of programs in wildlife media, art and design, graphic design, games design. People are taking time to really take stock of their situation and think about where they want to be, and maybe this is a time to have a change of career. And linked with that is employability. So it's about careers, but it's also about employability. And I've just given an example here. So, for example, if you look in healthcare, at the moment we're seeing students that graduated with us last year and who are graduating this year. We've got between 97 and 100% employability in certain healthcare areas. So 100% employability in nursing at the moment, not unsurprisingly, but also in other areas of healthcare, so physiotherapy, occupational therapy, sports rehabilitation. In the area of teaching as well, we've got a wide range of Bachelor of Education programs, teacher assistant, learning and development programs, and the demand for that has never been higher. The British government, the Department for Education, has actually launched a scheme. They launched it last year, year before actually, in 2019, which is called Train to Teach, and that we're actively encouraging international students to come to the UK and learn to teach and then be employed in the UK in our schools to teach, and then take that experience back with them or elsewhere in the world. Linked to that is the new graduate immigration route. So we had an overhaul of our immigration system in October 2020. We had a points-based system already, but that's been changed. It's been simplified. One of the positives to come out of the overhaul of that system is the graduate immigration route. What this means in practice is that if you come to study in the UK, and it could be a full-time 1-year or 2-year master's degrees. We have both. We have 1-year and 2-year master's degrees, depending on the subject area, or a 3- or 4-year undergraduate degree. Then upon successful completion of that degree, you are automatically eligible to apply for a post-study work visa. That visa lasts for 2 years. During that period, you can actively seek work. You can start applying for jobs before you have the visa whilst you're still a graduate, but when you've got the visa, then you can be employed. We've removed previous restrictions, which are all about having to have a job that employs you at a certain minimum threshold, because we recognise that that's not that easy for fresh graduates. And so the scheme is a good positive, and it links into it's tying nicely into the skill areas where we have skill shortages in the UK. So it's about trying to bring qualified individuals in to learn with us, to study with us, and then to remain, whether that's for a short term or a longer term, and be part of our workforce and establish a life in the UK. I have put a link here. This will take you to a fact sheet which has been produced by the Home Office, which tells you about the graduate immigration scheme and provides some other links and information about costs, etc., and the application process. Next, I'm going to show you a short video in a moment, which is looking at a particular range of courses on our Ambleside campus, which is in the middle of the English Lake District, which is a World UNESCO Heritage Site, and looking at the measures that we've put in place to keep students and staff safe whilst they are learning with us. We do have a number of Canadian students and students from all around the world who joined us in 2019, so just as we came out of our second lockdown in the UK, and we have interviewed those students and found out why they made that decision to travel halfway across the world to come and study with us. And it's all the things I mentioned before, but it's also because for their particular subject area, and they value the quality of a British qualification and the employment opportunities that could provide them with. Like all universities around the world, we have had to switch to a blended learning mode, and that has worked very, very well. And I think what we found is it's actually made us better practitioners. I don't think that when we move back to a near normal situation, I think we will retain an element of digital delivery because it suits students. You cannot substitute completely for face-to-face. Face-to-face is extremely valuable, but I think there's ways you can supplement that learning through the digital environment, and I think we've all had to learn very quickly, but we've learned very well. I am going to just show you this video now, and just gives you a bit of a flavour for the safety measures that we've put into place.
With any of the activities that we're doing face-to-face, whether it be either fieldwork outdoors or classroom-based, we're making sure that we are adhering to the strictest possible safety standards.
I wasn't intending to come to uni this year, but it's definitely been a good choice. The practicals we've done are really good. I'm very into climbing and bouldering, and we've done quite a lot of those kind of practicals as well, and been on the water a lot and learning kayaking things and how to rescue, and it's been really good, and I've really enjoyed all of it.
Well, it's really interesting working in COVID times because it's not massively affected our outdoor practice because we are naturally socially distant, we're outside in a safe environment, and we've been able to do all the same sorts of things, but just curtail them a little bit. What can our students expect to be doing despite COVID? They can expect to be outside a lot, they can expect to be working in small groups, to get to know lots of people, and then we'll blend that with being online, where we will look at the ideas and we can have discussions, and then we can also set up the next activity online so the students know what they're doing next time.
Within our computer lab, computers have been deactivated so that the spacing between them is such that they maintain social distancing guidelines at all times. They're to wear masks at all times when they're within the buildings, and also we have a fairly strict cleaning regime.
The good thing is we still get to do plenty of practicals, at least 2 times a week, and they're really fun, really varied, you know, on land, in the water, on the water. There's just a huge variance of stuff to do.
In order to support the students and help them with the online learning, we have got these practical sessions available for them as well. we're putting things in place to help that. So we are running repeating practicals with less students in the room so that we can ensure social distancing at all times. And obviously wearing face masks, there's plenty of hand sanitizer around, hand washing facilities. And I think the students have really valued getting the face-to-face time. I certainly really enjoyed being able to see them in real life.
This causes some restrictions. For instance, when we're going to labs, we have to sanitize everything. Example again was like computer labs is running at half capacity. There's a time slot for like half of us to go in from 10 till 2 and then 1 till 3. So there are things that are in place.
So that really looks at a range of courses that we offer in ecology, conservation, forestry, etc., all of which do take place a lot of the time in an open space outside. But I can reassure you that the same measures have been put in place for other courses. For example, our business courses, our law courses, biology courses, which again use laboratories, are healthcare courses. Another reason I think it's now is a good time is that certainly, again, whilst things have been put on pause, it has allowed our academics to engage in groundbreaking research. The universities in the UK have a worldwide reputation for research, and particularly in the areas of healthcare, and certainly for us in the area of areas of conservation and sustainable development. So I've just put here a few areas of research that we've been involved in very recently during the virus. So the ones I wanted to highlight in particular were this one here in the middle, research project that we became involved in, looking at using both technology and motorbikes to help an endangered species of monkey in Africa and protect it from the virus. There's another one here. We run a number of courses in the area of radiography, and our researchers and our staff were involved in an international effort to support radiographers during the pandemic. There's another project which I haven't highlighted here, which is all about looking at digital health and digital healthcare. Some more here, research into in Kazakhstan into snow leopards, which are an endangered species. They're on the red list for species, and a couple of biodiversity projects here. The last reason why the UK, I think, as I said there, location. I think come September 2021, 2022, I think it's really important to get back on track and to have that experience outside your own country of study, be that only for one month, a couple of months, a semester, 1 year, or the whole of your degree. But I do think I want to encourage people not to be put off and not to feel that they cannot have that experience overseas, but to do it in a manner that is obviously responsible and hopefully doesn't have a negative impact on our individual carbon footprints. So when we talk about location, I think we're very lucky at the University of Cumbria because we have 5 campuses, and we are spread across the northwest of England, but we also have a small London campus. And these are all in very beautiful parts of the world. So 3 city-based campuses, 4 city-based campuses, and then our Ambleside campus, which I think we've mentioned, is in the middle of the English Lake District in a UNESCO World Heritage Site.
Welcome to our...
So this is where we are. this is us in Cumbria. We are in the northwest of England. This is the Irish Sea on the left, and we're just below the border with Scotland. So our international students, they do enjoy coming to study with us because it's a completely different part of the world, possibly one of the most unique places in the world. And we are a 1 hour train journey from Glasgow, Edinburgh, Newcastle, York or Manchester, 2.5 hours, just under 2.5 hours direct into London. So students do like the fact that we're so close to Scotland that they can experience 2 countries in one by coming to study with us. I'm going to play you another video, really, which just sums up why I think as the world moves forward and we start to recover from COVID, that I think it's important for people, for students to expand their horizons and get those different experiences, as I mentioned. So I'm going to play this and then sum up and see if you've got any questions for me.
And living and learning environment like no other. Vibrant, friendly, a community of like-minded changemakers, thinkers, artists and doers, guided by renowned experts. Follow in the footsteps of thought leaders who established the conservation movement, sparking the formation of national parks and the National Trust. We have the ultimate outdoor research lab. Our campus is where educationalist Charlotte Mason pioneered a new approach to homeschooling following 3 principles. Education is an atmosphere, a discipline, a life.
I'm not going to talk to you too much more about the university because that wasn't the purpose of this talk. It's really not to promote the university, but it's really to promote the UK as a study destination and to encourage you that when you're thinking about your future education studies and your careers, that you do actively consider having a period of study in the UK, ideally with us, but it could be anywhere else in the UK because it is a truly unique place, and we have good links with other universities. We have lots of partner universities all around the world, and I think the UK really does offer something quite unique. You will get a copy of this video if you want one. There's a perspective here from an international student who has come to study with us. He's doing a 2-year MSc in physiotherapy, and just some of his thoughts on why he chose to come to the UK to study and why he thinks there's never been a better time to study in the UK. I'm not going to play that for you. I have listed our entry requirements, so there's a link here. If you click on that link, we have a drop-down menu, so it tells you for undergraduate and postgraduate levels what the specific requirements are for your country. You can see Canada listed there. I know not everyone's from Canada, and then we have our English language qualifications, the ones that we accept, on the right. Finally, there is some links through which explain to you how to apply, whether that's undergraduate or postgraduate. These are our fees. These are in pounds, but we can quite quickly calculate those into Canadian dollars for you. The only thing I want to say about fees is that we do offer a £1,000 sort of early payment fee scholarship discount, which means that if you pay your full fees for the year upfront in full, you get a £1,000 discount. We also have a scholarship scheme that we're about to launch in March. We will provide details of that. We do intend to offer 2 or 3 scholarships for Canada specifically, as well as for other parts of the world. And if you do provide us with your details, we can give you information about that when we've confirmed what those scholarships are going to be. Finally, these are our list. This is a list of some of our partners and professional accreditation bodies, ranging from the arts, filmmakers, national trusts, NHS, professional bodies such as Chartered Management Institute, Chartered Society of Physiotherapy, etc. Just to show or just to showcase the employability and the really career-driven aspect of the provision that we provide. That's all from me. I want to thank you for staying with us. It's been a very interesting evening for us here in the UK. We've had a team of about between, at any one time, 6 and 10 people here to meet and engage with you. They're all academics or professional services staff. Majority are academics, doctors and professors who are happy to talk to you about any queries you might have about studying in the UK, studying your particular subject or course, and of course studying with us, we hope, at the University of Cumbria in the wonderful northwest of England. Thank you for your time and goodbye.